win from James Wade, as well as Gary Anderson and Adrian Lewis, who we just heard from there. So really, Rod, not too many surprises tonight thus far.
No, not really. I mean, when you think that the qualifiers are coming up on this big stage, and it is warm up here, so the grip on your darts is totally different than it would be playing in, you know, normal tour events. And I think that's the biggest factor in this. You know, these pros are doing this week in, week out, all over the world on the big stages. So, yeah, they've got the scoring power, and that's where they win games.
Now, a man that everyone loves to see, Phil Taylor, he's in action next. I mean, how good is this guy?
Well, if you look at his tournament wins, over 200 tournament wins, which is incredible. 16-time champion of the world. He's won everything. And at 55 years old, his birthday was the other day, 55 years old, he's still hacking it with these youngsters. And he still wants to beat them. He doesn't like losing.
He's 55 years young, it seems.
Well, that's the way to put it, because he's really up for it. He has been ill for a couple of days, but he's had 2 days to get over it as well. And I think when the adrenaline starts to pump, that will mask anything that's going to be wrong with Phil Taylor.
All right, well, let's hear in Oz what we heard from him earlier in the week.
I think the World Series is going to be massive. I think it's going to get bigger and bigger and bigger. And the one I was most surprised was Japan. You know, we expected the crowd to be quiet and to sit there, and total opposite. They were absolutely crazy. It was brilliant, it was. It's probably one of the best atmospheres we've ever played in. The World Series so far, the first one was Dubai, which I played better this year. I got through the first round this year, got to the final. Michael beat me. And then Japan was a different story. Played well in Japan. Enjoyed every minute of it. And I'm really looking forward to Australia now. Defending my title in Australia, I'm going to be trying, that's for sure. And I'm going to go out there and I'm going to enjoy it. I don't feel the pressure. I know it's strange, and I've always been very, very dedicated and 100% focused on everything. And I still am, but I'm not putting myself under pressure anymore. I'm just going out there and enjoying it. And I think it's improving the game a little bit.
Back to defend his title, 16-time world champion Phil "The Power" Taylor faces Kiwi sensation Craig Caldwell.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the hottest ticket in sport. You're joining us from Perth, Australia. Down Under Events proudly presents the Tab Touch Perth Darts Masters. All part of the PDC's World Series. A very special welcome to the millions of viewers joining us around the world. It's now time to meet the players. Ladies and gentlemen, would you please welcome New Zealand's #1, Craig Caldwell. And now, ladies and gentlemen, from Stoke-on-Trent, England, he's the reigning and defending Perth Darts Master. He's a record-breaking, history-making, 16 times the champion of the world. It's Phil, the Power Taylor.
Over to the men making the magic behind the mic, Stuart Pike and Rod Harrington.
Thanks, Tara. And Phil Taylor, the defending champion here, the #1 seed, has got himself out of his sick bed to play on the opening night here in Perth. He's been laid low with a virus for the last 48 hours. Phil Taylor, 55 yesterday. He spent his birthday ill in bed. But Taylor is here, the world #3 now, of course, to start the defence of his title against the 42-year-old Kiwi, Craig Caldwell, from Wellington in New Zealand, given the unenviable task of playing against the power. That's next week in Sydney, ticketek.com.au. If you're in Sydney, the surrounding areas, Friday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday for the Sydney Darts Masters, which will be at the Qantas Credit Union Arena. Should be good. Taylor will be defending that title as well. Beat Stephen Bunting in the final in Sydney last August. Beat Michael van Gerwen in a thrilling final here in Perth 12 months ago.
Well, I spoke to Phil as I come back from the States. Said, you know, how you feeling? He said, I'm feeling pretty good now. So I think I got over it. The old adrenaline. We'll get him over the rest. But he's got to be careful with the big Kiwi.
85.
Caldwell. I don't know what Taylor can do, but not been firing on all cylinders in the last couple of months. Perhaps played very well in Japan. Beaten Peter Wright in the final. That's where he's got the #1 seed spot from.
Yeah, just to explain, the seedings for the World Series event are not based on the world rankings. They're based on
68.
how the players have done in the opening 2 events so far in Dubai and in Japan. And of course Phil Taylor losing in the final in Dubai, winning the final in Japan. Hence he is the #1 seed, and Michael van Gerwen is seeded 2. Van Gerwen coming up later, the last match of the opening night against David Platt. A little rusty, Philip Taylor,
95.
at the start of this game. Yeah, had a nasty bug, didn't he?
There's two days in bed. I mean, it's going to train you. Your body tends to shut down because you're not even just walking around. It can have an effect. But this would certainly wake him up. This would certainly wake Phil Taylor up. I think that's called a miss.
Well,
167.
Taylor claimed he wasn't going for it. But he will be back, looking at double 15. That would have been a good start.
100. Do you require 30?
Shaking off the cobwebs, wouldn't it? A 170 finish. Well, he's opened the door here
22.
for Craig Caldwell. What a chance this is for the Kiwi against the darts. That's a brilliant, brilliant dart to leave double 8. Is that a good guide?
No, sure.
He's busted it as well.
Busted his score as well. I think
Do you require
the
8?
adrenaline getting the better of Caldwell there.
And yet that was a perfect guide to the double 8.
Charge left
Phil
first.
Taylor takes out the double 4.
So Glenn Craig
It's
to
a lead off for Phil Taylor. As I said, you know, a perfect 51. And if you're going to miss, it's in the perfect position to miss. You know, you've got such a lovely guide. And as you said, I think the adrenaline just made him overpitch it.
Yeah, played well Caldwell, but what a chance he was gifted there by Taylor in the opening leg. That would have raised a few eyebrows.
139.
Yeah, Phil Taylor now the #3 in the world. Lost his world #1 status to Michael van Gerwen last year and has been knocked out of the #2
45.
position by Gary Anderson following the world match play. Anderson now 2, Taylor at 3, Peter Wright is now in the top 4. Adrian Lewis down at #5.
140.
More change in the top echelons of darts world order.
Yes, just to remind you, this is a standalone ranking system. It has no effect on the actual world rankings. So the world rankings will stay the same till the next tournament. Certainly, the World Series rankings made a big change this weekend. And coming up, Carl Anson against Stephen Bunting. Bunting really got to work hard. Peter Wright against Paul Nicholson. And one of the matches of the night alongside the Anderson Bunting, Simon Whitlock against the big Dutchman, Barney.
45.
What a hard game that is for Barney.
82.
Simon Whitlock, a lot to prove and been playing well.
Tops for Taylor.
62.
A long way off again. Because Taylor's 8-year reign as world match play champion was ended by James Wade in the semi-finals
99.
in Blackpool
We
at
require
the end
20.
of last month.
Aim shot in the
2-0
second.
to Taylor.
Phil Taylor.
Kind of feel that Craig Caldwell has missed a trick. He'll be
The
disappointed.
left field to throw first. Game on.
And that's where the hardest thing is for anybody that's playing these top players, is when you give yourself a chance taking it. That's when the nerves come in. When you're scoring, you don't tend to think about closing the game out. You get to the double, that's what makes you win the game. That's where the nerves come in. And certainly we see with Lost Rider missing darts at a double in, was it 4 legs?
97.
Certainly Craig Caldwell missing the 2 darts at double 8 in the first leg of this match. Summerfield's darts are going very wide and they're at weird angles at times as well.
45.
You always got the feeling that Taylor would be a touch rusty, especially to have no preparation for this event.
140.
The winner of this to play either Stephen Bunting or Kyle Anderson in the quarterfinals.
135.
Well, Taylor not at his best, but still good enough thus far.
60.
Caldwell needed a ton there. The 60 wasn't really enough. So Taylor's going to get 6 darts from here. Oh, and that is sitting so well. If he lays this on the flights, he's hit the flight and smashed it through it.
140.
That's very, very good darts. So now Caldwell's got to return that 140. I hope that Taylor misses perhaps the bullseye, or even the 180. That's a great reply, Stu. Really has put the pressure on Phil Taylor.
But will Caldwell get a shot? There's your answer.
Shot in the
Clinical
third
from
leg.
Taylor
Phil Taylor.
in that third leg, 3-0 up.
Will Craig to throw first.
Caldwell, the Kiwi qualifier. Caldwell also has qualified for the Sydney Darts Masters
55.
next week. Yeah, incredible to think that since this
140.
World Series was born, only Phil Taylor and Michael van Gerwen have won the tournament 4 apiece. Taylor has been so dominant here in Australia. Well done as Caldwell hit the first 180 of this match. And we look back to the first leg when he had chances to take it and break the Taylor throw.
140.
Since then, Taylor has been dominant.
Yes, and as you can see, up to just under 101 average for Taylor. No doubt that will
60.
move up to about 103, 104. First 2 legs found his way into the game. Caldwell will reflect back on those 2 missed darts at double 8 in the very first leg.
91.
The final here in Perth 12 months ago was an absolute thriller.
100.
With Taylor beating Van Gerwen 11-9. Just one little slip up from the Dutchman was enough to hand Taylor the title. You look at the ball here. Clinical. He struggled on the doubles, but not on the ball. 4-0 Taylor.
Fifth leg field to throw first. Game
That's
on.
the best checkout of the evening. Goes to Phil Taylor.
We've seen a 1-2-3 on the ball from Lewis. We've seen a terrific 1-2-6 from Anderson. And now we've seen a 1-18 from Taylor.
A smile on the face of Phil Taylor because it's at the start of the leg. And we are due a 9-dart leg steal. We keep saying it. It's been a long time on TV since this happened. Oh, and that's a perfect fourth dart. Perfect fifth dart. Surely he can't miss this.
Well, it's on. Are we going to see a bit of history with a 9-darter in the World Series? Great response from Caldwell with a 140.
140.
But Taylor here, eyeing up the perfect leg. Well, I think he's been greedy.
95.
The 10 9-darters that Phil Taylor's had in TV tournaments thus far.
Going wide, 46.
For another one. Double 16. Double 8.
30.
That's where Taylor's troubles have been on the doubles. To be fair, for the last 12 months, double 8, double 16, that side of the board has let him down.
40.
Unlucky with the bounce out, but surely this time
16.
for Taylor, he was on a 9-darter. Well,
Nice goal.
that's incredible. He was on a 9-darter, 6 perfect darts from Taylor, but he's now had 15 in this leg. Chance here for Caldwell. Bullseye for the Kiwi.
96.
Well, that would have been a real steal, wouldn't it?
16.
A succession of missed doubles from Philip Taylor. Well, we can't believe this. Taylor certainly can't.
8.
Well, 8 scored and 8 missed darts at double 16 and double 8 for Phil Taylor. Double 8 for Caldwell. Double 4 for a leg for the New Zealander. Taylor was on a 9-darter. He lost the leg. Incredible. 4-1. He leads.
6 leg break to throw first. Game on.
Well, he missed 8 darts at double 16 and double 8, and that has been the problem for him, hasn't it?
85.
Yes, and as you said, that, you know, most of the big misses where he's wasted an awful lot of darts have been down those 16s and 8s. He has no problem in hitting the treble. He just seems to find that the
85.
dart really slides to the outside of those 16s and 8s, and he can't seem to get inside of it. 4-1 up. You can't really see him losing this.
140.
But we go back to that first leg. Craig Caldwell, 2 darts at double 8. Crucial misses.
140.
Well, the Power has missed 13 darts at doubles in this match. Yeah, a bit feast and famine, wasn't it?
60.
The fourth leg with the 130 finish on the bull, followed by 8 missed darts in the next leg at double 8 and double 16.
100.
hasn't he? Taylor, though,
168.
responds with a 168 to lead double four. Is it going to be back-to-back legs for the Kiwi? Terrific marker. Double 9. Well, you've got to say that the 168 from Taylor put the pressure, because he would have gone up there not thinking about it and probably got the double. But 168 from Taylor. Well, that's why Phil Taylor has won all the titles that he has. One dance in the Olympics. It took two, Phil. But he's 5-1 up, and he's one away, and another leg that Caldwell has let slip.
Yes, I mean the double 18. So many players love that double, but the switch
99.
Those to the 8 to the 9s are really a bad switch. Hardly anybody hits the double 9 cleanly. Another player.
100.
It's cost a leg too. And we've seen so many games this evening. The qualifiers missing doubles at crucial times. Just joined us.
60.
James Wade against Adam Rowe. 6-1 to Wade. Gary Anderson beat Kimberly Lewis. 6-0. And Adrian Lewis against Lost Rider. 6-1. So it's been professional seeds that's been doing all the damage this evening.
You know, Caldwell hasn't played too badly. Just not taking the chances that have come along when they've come along. 5-1 down, but that really doesn't tell the story. The Kiwi had taken the key doubles, he would have been level. If some buts, comes and shoulds, and maybe. If you miss chances against Taylor, you lose. Full stop.
Yes, you're exactly right. Taylor still just under the 98 average. It's just been a real good performance apart from one leg, and that's the third maximum for Taylor. It's been quite a good performance, and if you take that one real bad leg out to do where he hit the 2 180s actually, then you're talking about 106, 107 average,
63.
and possibly a 40% on doubles, but this is to close the match out for another 6-1.
Double 12. Not at his best, but the defending champion here in Perth, Phil Taylor, still far too good for Craig Caldwell. Acknowledgement from Taylor for the New Zealander, but in the end, an average just shy of 100, and Phil Taylor's bid to win in Perth for a second consecutive year is off and running. 6-1 against Craig Caldwell. Coming up next is the Bullet. It's Stephen Bunting against Kyle Anderson at the Perth Darts Masters.
Champion Phil the Power Tally. He came out of the blocks a little shaky, starting slowly, but he closed out leg 4 with the best checkout of the night so far. The crowd did go wild, but he then missed 8 darts, allowing Caldwell back into the game. But at leg 5, Phil the Power, he was just too strong and just back to the old winning ways and the form that we are so used to seeing. I'm joined now by Rod Harrington. Rod, talk me through those stats.
Well, Phil played actually exceptionally well apart from one leg, and he hit the 2 180s in that leg, then took 8 darts, hit the double. He still had a very good average, just under the 100, 30% on the doubles. He's going to have to improve on that. 3 180s, 8 140s, so his scoring power was there. But you have to say again that the qualifiers are missing crucial doubles at crucial times. And when you let the pros in like that, that's when they're going to bury you.
All right, let's get some reaction right now. He's with Paul Gow.
Now, happy birthday, Phil. Not a great way to spend it. You're in bed for a couple of days.
About 18 hours, I think I stayed in bed. It was, yeah, I had a lot of rest yesterday. Feel a lot better now. Bit tired, but I'm okay. Thank you.
Right. So you're staying up all night to get ready for this. How did it feel when you're out there? You know, we've seen a few shots here and there go astray.
Bit lethargic. We'll be okay. We'll be okay. I'm not going to put that as an excuse. You know, Craig put me under pressure a little bit, and you know, missing the 9 darts, the crowd started getting me back a little bit. Started making me laugh actually. I was trying not to smile a little bit because they give you a little bit of jip, but it doesn't matter. I mean, it's get ready for the next one.
Now, you've never been one for excuses, but how do you get ready for tomorrow then?
We'll go back now, get ready by just resting up really. You know, you're in for a big one tomorrow, so I think the rest at the moment is better for me than, you know, going visiting kangaroos or wallabies or wherever else there are over here, you know, koala bears. You know, my mate wants to go visit koala bears tomorrow, but not me. I'm going to stay in.
No, I reckon you stay indoors.
I mean, we're right by the sea, so I'm going to sit down by the sea for a couple of hours tomorrow. Get a bit of fresh air. Watch the surfers.
It's a nice way to do it. Now, thanks for this.
I don't think it's a bad life at all.
It's a great life.
I think people in Perth are so lucky. You know me. What do you do on your day off? I'll go watch a few surfers and sit on the beach.
We'll do that, rest up, and we'll see you tomorrow.
Brilliant. Thanks, Paul.
Thanks, mate.
Thank you.
Oh, we love that. He is happily pleased, just sitting on the beach for his very happy birthday, has he been indeed for Phil. All right, well, there's the results thus far. James Wade, Gary Anderson, Adrian Lewis and Phil Taylor, all with emphatic results here now. We're very